Now, what I wanted to talk about here is this is a 3rd and 15. Now, 3rd and 15, we had a very similar situation against UT, and it's a pass that went for 51 yards, right? So similar situation. You're showing 6 in the box. We've got 5 down linemen. We have both of our linebackers showing pressure. And what we did last week is we ran a bracket. So what we did is on the very top, if you look at the 30-yard line towards the Baylor sideline, so all the way top of that FBC mortgage, what we did is we ran man coverage to that guy right there, and we ran a 2-high look on both sides. We did something different this week. So what we did is we ran a cover 2 to the field, and we ran it to the boundary as well. And what we did is instead of a traditional cover 2, what they'll do with the Tampa 2 is they'll have a linebacker like Brian Urlacher back in the 2000s for the Bears run really deep down the middle. But instead of them having a linebacker running really deep down the middle, what they'll do is they'll have a safety play that deep position, and then they'll bring pressure from one of the linebackers. So very similar look pre-snap to what we ran last week, but what you're seeing on the back end is very, very different. Now, the other thing that's really exciting about this play to me is that in a similar sense to how an offensive coordinator really gets unique and reaches into his bag and has all of these crazy plays in the red zone. Think about with Coach Grimes with all of the reverses and double passes and all the trick plays that he runs in the red zone, right? That is where an offensive coordinator has the most fun. For the defensive side of the ball, 3rd and long is when you really see the creativity from a defensive coordinator. So you can see Powledge here showed a very similar look to what we saw last week, but he ran something different. So once again, you ran that cover 2 to the field, right? You have that deep defender as a safety instead of a traditional linebacker, then you have it down to the boundary as well. Now, the other thing that's really unique is that instead of dropping both guys in coverage, you brought pressure from Mike Smith and you manned up Matt Jones underneath. What that does is that takes away that first read because he wanted to look left because that's where he was open last week, flushed him out, and then because we ran cover 2 to the field instead of running that press man, instead of him being kind of in no man's land, he dropped in coverage underneath. Right? So same situation, right? You've got 6 guys in the box. You're going to bring Mike Smith on a blitz. You're going to man up Matt Jones. So he sees a running back, right? He's manned up. Instead of, you can see we also dropped Gardman Randolph because that was his first read, was number 1. He's looking left. He's also looking to see if we caught our safeties with the eyes in the backfield. He didn't. That forced him to then look to his right. He felt the pressure coming from Gabe Hall. Let it play. We're in cover 2. You have a corner sitting underneath, safety over top, and you get a pick. I think this is as beautiful as we've seen our defense click all season. Different look on the coverage in the backfield, different pressure, different dropper underneath, just different looks. This is, I think, what Powledge really wants to do is he really wants to confuse the protection. He wants to show different looks. He wants to bring guys that you didn't bring. So we put it on the film the week before. You had your safeties deep as the deepest, so that pass down the middle wasn't available. And then, of course, Caden Jenkins comes up with a big interception. This guy, Big 12, defensive Big 12 player of the week, played a phenomenal game. Great play. This was probably my favorite play of the day, even though it wasn't ultimately the most important, probably my favorite play of the day.